Hello everyone, welcome to day 4 of our Move Your Body Challenge with Rooted Renewal Wellness Retreats. Day 4, we are going to do a nice stretchy slow flow is I think what I was going to call it. Yeah, stretchy slow flow. So we'll definitely move slow, we'll hold some poses, and I'm going to try to make this one 12 minutes, 13 minutes. Let's see what happens. Not going to happen, but we're going to try. Also, the time can't start until I start teaching the class. But anyways, we'll do a nice little stretchy slow flow. I'm going to use a bolster for a fish pose. You could even use like any type of blanket, a Mexican blanket, a thinner blanket, roll it up so it can go down the length of your spine. If you want to use blocks for your fish pose, you can, but I just wanted something a little bit more supportive, a little bit less invasive this afternoon when I start to teach the class. And yeah, the limiting belief, the mantra, everything that we're going over today has to revolve around time. So a limiting belief that we all have, maybe we don't all have this, but I feel like a lot of us have this. Let's say 94% of us have this. Don't fact check me. But that you don't have enough time. You're not following the timeline that you should be. You're running out of time for X, Y, Z. You feel pressured to do X, Y, Z in a certain amount of time, something revolving around time. And that resonates with me too as well. Like, I don't have enough time for this business, or I don't have enough time to build up that clientele, things like that, as it relates to yoga sometimes. So the mantra that goes with that is, I have all the time. Time is always on my side. I used to, when I would get one of my classes into Savasana pose, or the Savasana portion of class, I would also kind of sit with them to close my eyes, and I would repeatedly say a few mantras in my own head. And one that I used to say, and just saying this out loud, I need to come back to it. I haven't done it in forever, but when I first started teaching, I would take Savasana myself, and I would use that as time to really rewire and instill different beliefs and mantras into my own system. And I would always say what would I say? Divine timing's always on my side. The universe is always coming forth when needed, things like that. So let's start, because I want to keep it short for us. Keep tagging us, keep letting us know how the flows are landing for you. We love connecting with you guys, and we really enjoy practicing right along with you for an entire week too. So keep it up. But when you're ready, we're going to start in fish pose. Like I said, you're going to utilize a bolster, or if you don't have a bolster, that's totally okay. You can always kind of roll up a blanket here too, and rest down. And be nice and easy here, right? So fish pose is meant to open up the heart space, open up the shoulders a little bit. Once you do find a resting pose, whether it's on your bolster or a blanket, try to gently tuck your chin towards your chest. And arms will go out towards the right, towards the left. Invite a little bend in your elbows, and palms will flip up towards the ceiling. And bring like an expansive quality to your breath. So expanding through the sides, the chest, your collarbones. And ever slow slightly, bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees go out nice and wide, but I don't want your heels super close to your thighs. So I want you to think more of like a long diamond shape in your head when you put the soles of the feet together. So the closer you bring your heels towards your thighs, the more intense the stretch is going to be. And I don't want it too intense just yet. We have time here to help us out. I'm well aware. I try to combine at least 2 to 5 words in a sentence as fast as I can half the time. So thank you for loving me. Thank you for being here with me. But we try our best to slow it down. That's why we're doing a slow and steady class. And now think of these next 2 rounds of breath. Can we breathe a little bit deeper down to the belly, your diaphragm? Center in this space. Let's find 2 here together as well. So find a full, steady breath in. Let it go. One more just like that. Full breath in. And breath out. Now gently place your feet on the mat so your knees will point up towards the ceiling, and then reach up overhead with your hands, with your arms. You can kind of feel the elongation through your sides. Your fingertips might intertwine up overhead. And you'll take your time, allow your hands, allow your forearms to come onto the mat so you can gently press up into a seat. Feel free to remove any props if you were using those here with me. And once you find this seated pose, bring your hands on top of your kneecaps and roll your shoulders away from your ears. Focus on breathing fully in, sitting up tall. And nice and slow as you let it go. Now this next breath in, your arms are going to go up nice and high. Let your gaze follow. And we'll open this up into a side stretch. So your right hand's going to go down. You're going to lean over towards the right side with your left arm. And see if you can bring some dynamic movement, buoyancy in the elbow. Now we're going to think of making like a kind of a big diagonal line here with our left arm. With your left arm, your left fingertips rather, just let them gently press towards the top left corner of your mat. Or it's probably your top right corner because you're sitting towards the top of your mat. So yeah, your left hand towards the top right corner of your mat. And then as you find a breath in, chase your left hand up behind you. Let it chase the back left corner of your mat. My bad for the first cue. 2 more just like that, nice and big with your span. Good, last full one. Now next time that left hand comes towards the top right corner of your mat, you're gonna pause, try to square your shoulders down just slightly. Now come back towards center, let your hands rest on top of your kneecaps and kind of just roll your shoulders around for a moment. And we'll switch that out. Arms will go up nice and high to reset. And as you exhale, that left hand goes down and we're going to sweep it on over towards the left side with our right arm. Now same but different here. Right hand's going to chase the top left corner of your mat. Find a little pause, let your fingertips connect to something here. You can always bring a block under the hand too. Now inhale, you reach up, we're gonna chase that right arm behind. 2 more like that. Good, last full round, let the fingertips touch. And then follow that right hand. Good, now come back towards the front of your space. Right fingertips are going to drop towards the ground. Here for 3. Here for 2. Then on 1, bring it towards middle. So you're kind of folding over your ankles here, but I want you to invite just a little movement. Sway your sides, sway the shoulders. Staying in this seated pose for just a moment longer, hands are going to come onto your kneecaps and we'll do a few rounds of seated cat-cow here. So find that breath in, pull your chest through, squeeze the shoulder blades together. When you find that breath out, you tuck you round, push your back towards the back of your mat so you can breathe into your shoulder blades. Inhale, pulls us through. Exhale, push. 1 more here, inhale, pulls through. Exhale, pushes. Coming back towards center, uncross the ankles, come over to a tabletop pose. Now when you find this tabletop pose, we're going to plant the forearms down. So booty still stays nice and high in line with your knees. Forearms are planted, palms are planted. And again, a few rounds of cat-cows, but we'll linger in these moments. So find a breath in, drop your belly, drive into your forearms, gaze up just slightly, feel your tailbone tuck up. When you think about this exhale, push the tops of your feet into the mat, scoop your shoulder blades up and under, let your eyes go towards your thighs. Now inhale, drop the belly, shift the gaze. Exhale, tailbone scoops. Inhale, find that pulling action through. Keep the fingertips planted. Keep the L's of your hands planted. Exhale, push. Now stay in this push position for a moment, so you're really kind of trying to find that protraction through the shoulders. You have your pelvis kind of scooping up and that tailbone scooping down. Now think of shifting your shoulders forward just a little bit here, so letting the crown of the head chase the ground just a little bit. And then bring the shoulders back in line with the elbows, and then hips towards the heels. You find a child's pose position. Resting in this child's pose, allow a breath to come into the back of your body, down towards your lower back, towards your hips. And feel some freedom in this space as you expand through the back. We'll bring this into a lazy thread the needles. You're going to push your left hand into the mat, thread your right arm through, and then drop your third eye. Palm will face up towards the ceiling, and think of your right hip. Try to pull it back just slightly. If you really like this sensation, sometimes I intentionally bring some more weight towards my right shoulder blade. I might even try to rest the right side of my face on the mat for a moment. And you'll notice, find a big inhale. That's going to help you fill up that shoulder blade. Good. Switch it out, my friends. So your right arm's going to extend out nice and long. Oh, I don't want to cut off the mic, but you're going to thread that left arm through, flip that left palm up, and find your thread. Good. Both arms come back towards the top of your mat. Think of puppy pose. So we lift those hips up, let them come in line with your knees. You'll keep your third eye on the mat, or you can tuck your chin towards the mat, gaze in between the thumbs. It totally just depends on what feels best for your sides and your shoulders today. You want to try to let that chest sink down with your exhale, so feel it melting beneath you. And let those inhales help you find that lift there too. So a very subtle movement up and down, allowing you to find some more depth here. Good. 2 more deep breaths. Now, if you're able to, tuck your toes, bring your hands back under your shoulders. So you might still have like a child's pose variation with the lower half. And I want you to keep crawling your hands back, back, back. Hips and heels will meet. Your knees are going to start to lift. And I want you to round into this. So heels will lift just slightly. Crawl your fingertips forward so you feel the shoulder blades elongate. And you just shake that head left to right for a moment. When you're ready, this is going to bring you into a downward facing dog. So kind of crawl it forward. Extend the legs, push the hips back. Spiral the eyes of your elbows forward just slightly, allowing the shoulders to melt down. And then maybe bending the knees, pedaling out the heels for a moment as you bring activation into this space. Now from your downward facing dog, go ahead and step your right foot through towards the top of your mat. And then you'll drop your left knee. So a couple of choices here. You can simply push your right hand inside your right knee if that feels best, or you can completely backstroke through your right arm, making this more of a lizard twist. And if you find that twist, you might find the spine for a moment. And of course, if you're not finding the twist and more so pushing your right hand into your right knee, just ensure that the right toes are pivoted towards the right corner of your mat too. And now we just find some variation of a half split pose. Let it be a little sloppy. Allow the chest to kind of rotate towards the right toes, hinging from the hips, breathing into your right hamstring. We're going to bring this right into a seated tree, so go ahead and drop the booty. Left foot inside your right thigh, sit bones scooch back, reach up with your hands, with your arms, and then exhale, fold over that extended right leg. And just a couple deep breaths here. Shrug the shoulders away and clench your jaw. And see, you have time to do this. We have all the time in the world, and this feels so good, right? We're going to bring this into a wild thing variation. So left hand comes behind you. We drive off that left shin. Activate the booty when you get to your top, and reach like crazy for your right side. Right arm, make a circle with it. Now go ahead and come back down. It's kind of your own adventure to get back up, right? So you might kind of bend into your right knee, bring that right knee back to meet the left, tabletop pose. And if you don't even want to do down dog, you don't got to do down dog. If you want to do down dog, you can do it. I just want you to step that left foot forward when you're ready. Right knee's going to plant. And give the left hip some space, so heel toe that left foot a little bit closer towards the left edge of your mat. You might just kind of push into your left knee. You might find that same type of bind, rotating through that left shoulder, trying to depress it down, nice and easy. A couple deep breaths, push into your right hand here. Right back to your half split pose when you're ready. Hands will plant. Left leg extends. Right hip tries to stay in line with that right knee. Encourage that chest to pull through just slightly. And we'll bring this right into our seated tree here as well. Plant the booty. Right foot meets your left. Breath in. You reach through the skull, through the fingertips. Breath out. You find your folds. Enjoying the moment while you have it, the pose while we have it, and the sensation as you feel it. Trusting your breath, trusting your time, trusting your dedication to your practice. Bringing this into that modified wild thing. Your right hand comes behind you, left hand reaches, booty's going to activate slightly, and encourage that right hip to push forward just a little bit here. Top arm, give me some circles. Good, plant the booty on down. And this time we're gonna stay on the butt. So when you're ready, from the booty, come to your back. And then from your back, bring the knees inside the chest. Moment here to find that little ball. I want you to really, really hug your knees very close. Lift up your head, let your knees chase your collarbones. 3, 2, and 1. Let yourself go. Find a little legs up the wall here. Point and flex. Roll out the ankles, the toes. And right into that happy baby pose. Your hands will grab the outer edge blades of your feet. Breathe into your thighs. Elongation through your tailbone. You might gently flex those toes back towards your face. Little dorsiflexion action. Now keeping the bind on the feet if you have them, so hands and feet. Let the soles of the feet come together here. So think Supta Baddha Konasana with the legs for a moment. A little bend in your elbows as you push the inner arches of your feet close towards the torso for 3, for 2, and on 1, let yourself release. Set up for your Savasana pose here. Hands on the belly, hands on the heart. Just for the sake of time, I will close this out, but if you have more time, stay. But at least to close out, we find 1. Let's do 2 breaths. So start on empty. Full breath in, fill up. And out. 1 more just like that. Full breath in. Hold 3. Hold 2. And 1. Let it go. Beautiful work today, my friends. Stretchy Slow Flow coming right up. Tomorrow is day 5. We'll be back with Kirst. And yeah, like I said, like we said, speaking for both of us, it's just so rad that you trust us enough to do these challenges with us. And we learn just as much as you all learn each and every time. So we'll see you tomorrow.